Hello and welcome to another session of the My Solo 401k Financial Daily Webinar Series. We're about to get started. We're here today to discuss iTrustCapital, Bitcoin, crypto, Roth IRA, how to contribute $70,000 to your Roth IRA in 2025. All right, if you find this to be helpful, please like this video. Please share it with others that might also be interested in this topic. That helps us to get the word out to other solopreneurs like you. Please subscribe as we go live every day, and you'll get notifications of when we go live. You can come and ask questions or see the content that we come to share. So if you do have questions, please chat those over, as we love to go through your questions. As always, the presentation is being provided for educational purposes only and should not be construed as tax, legal, or investment advice, nor as a solicitation. When making an investment decision, please consult with your tax attorney and financial professional. So we'll dive right into the iTrustCapital Bitcoin Crypto Roth IRA, really the Mega Backdoor Roth IRA, how to contribute $70,000 to your Roth IRA in 2025. So ultimately, this is a really powerful retirement hack. It's a strategy for high-income self-employed individuals. It allows individuals to bypass the Roth IRA limits, because I'm sure, as you may be aware, if you make too much money, you're not eligible to make Roth IRA contributions. And ultimately, this strategy would allow you to make contributions that end up in a Roth IRA, where you've got that potential for tax-free growth and withdrawals and retirement. So, as I mentioned, a Roth IRA has income limits. So you could think of it as hitting that Roth IRA wall. So there's also contribution limits. For 2025, it's $7,000 or $8,000 if you're age 50 or older. But again, your ability to contribute may be limited if you make too much money. There's an income phase out. So high earners often are ineligible to make Roth IRA contributions. But there's an alternative path that would, again, allow you to contribute up to $70,000 where the funds end up in a Roth IRA, which obviously is 10 times more than the standard Roth IRA contribution limit. So your key to unlocking these higher contribution limits would be setting up a solo 401k plan, like the one offered by my Solo 401k Financial. In order to be eligible to set up a solo 401k plan, you have to be self-employed with no full-time W-2 employees. No full-time W-2 employees other than the spouse or the business owner themselves working for any business owned by that person or spouse, if any. So you can't have another business, in other words, with employees. You need a plan like our plan that allows for voluntary after-tax contributions and then an in-service transfer out of the plan over to a Roth IRA. And it could be a Roth IRA at iTrustCapital, where you could then invest in Bitcoin or other crypto using your Roth IRA dollars. So what's the math behind the Mega Backdoor Roth? Well, instead of the IRA limit, you have the overall 401k limit, which, for example, for 2025 is $70,000 or more if you're age 50 or older. With a solo 401k, it actually allows for the highest contribution limits for any defined contribution plan available to self-employed individuals. And that's because you can make not only employee, but also employer contributions, as well as voluntary after-tax contributions if you have a plan, again, like the one offered by my Solo 401k Financial, that allows for voluntary after-tax contributions. So how does iTrustCapital fit in? Well, we have plenty of customers who have made voluntary after-tax contributions and then transferred those after-tax funds out of the plan to a Roth IRA, including a Roth IRA at iTrustCapital. And then they open up that Roth IRA at iTrustCapital in order to invest in cryptocurrency. So the Roth IRA receives the transfer from the solo 401k. Now, you do have distribution rules that apply to a solo 401k. So generally, one cannot transfer money out of a solo 401k until they're age 59 and a half. But one of the big exceptions to that general rule are voluntary after-tax contributions. So in short, the way that it works is that you make a voluntary after-tax contribution to the solo 401k. It goes into a separate voluntary after-tax solo 401k sub-account. And then if you have a plan like ours that allows it, you can transfer all of those voluntary after-tax solo 401k funds out of the plan, even if you're under 59 and a half years of age, transfer those after-tax funds out of the plan to a Roth IRA. So it could be transferred to a Roth IRA at iTrustCapital, where then you can enjoy the potential for tax-free growth in that Roth IRA, as well as the option to invest in cryptocurrency through the iTrustCapital platform. So it's a three-step strategy. You open a solo 401k with an after-tax option. You fund it with contributions. It could be 100% after-tax contributions. That's how you could get all the way up to $70,000, as long as you have the self-employment income to justify it, because you can do 100% of your self-employment compensation dollar for dollar up to $70,000 as an after-tax contribution. Then transfer the funds out of the voluntary after-tax solo 401k sub-account to a Roth IRA, including a Roth IRA at iTrustCapital. So ultimately, you want to know the difference, right? Because a lot of times folks will understand the concept of a backdoor Roth IRA, but what's a Mega Backdoor Roth solo 401k? So with the backdoor Roth IRA, this is where someone makes a non-deductible IRA contribution and then transfer those funds from the IRA over to a Roth IRA. Whereas with a Mega Backdoor Roth solo 401k, first of all, you got to be eligible, right? Self-employed with no non-owner, non-spouse, full-time W-2 employees. Second, you got to have a plan like ours that supports the Mega Backdoor Roth. But then you can make those mega contributions where it's a much higher contribution potential. Again, 100% of the self-employment compensation can be contributed as an after-tax contribution, as long as you don't make any other types of contributions to the solo 401k. So you can make 100% pure after-tax, then move the money out of the solo 401k to a Roth IRA. So ultimately, this can be a game changer for you, tax-free growth potential on those larger contribution amounts. Again, no income limits. So even if you make a large amount of money from your self-employed business, there's no income limits above which you cannot make those after-tax contributions. And then you got that potential for tax-free withdrawals, as long as when you make a distribution from the Roth IRA, you do it as a qualified Roth IRA distribution. So it's important to read the fine print, right? Not all solo 401ks are the same. You need to have a solo 401k plan that allows for the after-tax contributions and then an in-service distribution out of the plan to a Roth IRA, like ours does. Now, that contribution, that first step, that's not reportable on the business or personal tax return. But the second step, when you move the money out of the plan to the Roth IRA, that does need to be reported on a Form 1099-R. And we handle that as an optional free service for our customers. They just have to give us the information we need. There's an online form. They just give us the information in a timely fashion. Then we add their plan to the queue to prepare the 1099-R, which again, we handle that as an optional free service. In other words, no additional charge. Ultimately, of course, this is not tax advice, as we mentioned at the outset. So it's always good to consult a professional like your tax advisor. Ultimately, though, this could offer you the opportunity to take control of your retirement, solo 401k plus a Roth IRA. You could make both Mega Backdoor Roth solo 401k contributions plus Roth IRA contributions. You could have the solo 401k plan with us and then transfer the after-tax funds out of the plan to a Roth IRA at somewhere else, including iTrustCapital. All right, that takes us to the end of the slides that we wanted to share. Thank you so much for checking us out. Again, if you found this to be helpful, please like this video. Please share with others that might find it to be helpful. That helps us to get the word out. We also invite you to our community. We've got over 30,000 members. It's totally free to join. All are welcome. You can join for free at mysolo401k.net/my community, or just email us at business@mysolo401k.net and we'll help you get access. We've got forums on there. We have a library of videos and webinars. We have the industry's first AI, which you're totally welcome to use at solo401k.ai. So there's a lot of resources, a lot of ways to learn, to share the knowledge. All right. Well, I don't see any questions. We'll give it one more moment here to see if any more questions come through. Thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate it. Until next time.